Hi traders, this is Thiago and welcome to Bull or Bear Futures channel. Today we're going to carry out another live transmission to share with you our thoughts, our perspectives in terms of tape reading, overflow, order flow, and try to show in real time what I've been trying to show in my videos. So we're going to try to see exhaustions, absorptions, and I will try to describe all the moves I've seen, all the things I have in my mind when I'm trading. Uh, beforehand, before starting, today I'll be able to show you my pre-market studies. I think we always need to do our homework to study before and try to take note of the important regions. And today I will start by sharing this on screen, okay? I'm just going to close this camera and focus on my video. Just a second. Okay, let's go. Just a second. Okay, here, in all the mornings, I make this pre-market studies. I try to describe what I'm seeing, what I'm tending to see, what I'm tending to trade, or what can happen. So in this session, the possibilities, I start drafting the some alternatives. Okay, and 3981 is a point I'm looking at here. Uh, it's been important. Today is also resistance from pivot points. So pre-market's trading right in the region. This 3975, 79 was the high. So we are trading positive, and I think that this 88.1 would be the first region we should look at. Okay, failing to go above it would be at least a temporary weakness, and going downwards, we have the value area high here in 3965. That is very important points in many sessions, very many sessions before. It's been also important yesterday as well, and today it's value area high. Starting above the value area, it means that we are seeing some strength in the opening, and if we see market going down and being able to hold above it, we could say that we could understand that this strength could be continue at least for a while, and then moving down and holding and being able to hold on in the 19 in 3965 maybe could lead to some long opportunities. Okay, 3960 is very important as well. We have a pivot point here in 3959. So let's see what's going to happen. We are coming here to the daily chart. We have lots of many days in sideways. We're trading sideways. 3990 and 3940 could be the limits of this region. So at 3990, we could find again some resistance, as it's been, I guess, in 3 or 4 days. And going down 3944 45 could be the bottom of the region. and trading below it, maybe 39.32 would be the next stop. Here, the session just opened. The session just opened. We are seeing here buyer trying to push up. Let's see if it's going to succeed in overcoming the 3981 kind of exhaustion, but we could not say this. It's too early to to say about this. Let's see. We had one try. Let me put here. I like this one, the 2-minute chart. It's going to update the pivot point here. It's not right. You've seen that in the first try it was not able to overcome 3980. Let's see where it's going downwards here. We're seeing a kind of exhaustion here in 3973. Let's see if it's where it's going, because you've seen it. It tried 3980, did not succeed. It failed, moved down. So it's important now to see where is it going? Where is it going to be able to reach? Not reaching the 80, it's a weakness sign as well. So we could see maybe when coming down, we could see a breakout, if you can call it a breakout, but we could see a breakout here. You've seen that it just reached the 77. We're seeing here sellers trying to sellers pressing, but buyers absorbing. We're seeing here absorption, buyers absorption. Let's see if it's going to be able to pull down from the 3973. But we've seen sellers aggressions all over this range here, but buyers were absorbing. So we're positive. We're 0.70. The net change is currently plus 0.66. But we cannot be deceived by this, because many times when starting the regular session, things change. So we need to be careful. But we've seen that in the second time it tried to move upwards, it just reached the 3977. So we see that 77 points that here we can see here kind of exhaustion in the 77.75. So we always trying to get clues, to get some indications, and not reaching the 3980 is a strong we can understand from this very first move. We're seeing here, you see that it traded below 74, and now it's sellers are absorbing buyers in 72. In theory, this could be seen as buyer strength, but when we saw buyers facing difficult to reach 80 again, and now sellers are selling down under here in 72. So in this case, I would not sell here, but I would wait. But absorption in the bottom of the seller's absorption in the bottom of the move many times, or usually, can can mean breakout in the opposite side of the absorption. But especially when markets shaking like recently, it's not good to sell here, because maybe it can go upwards 3 4 points and stop you and then come again. So it's not good to try to see. I usually take this only as a signal, only as a signal. of of I take myself and try to remember if it succeeds again. But in this case, you see that it did not reverted. Let's see where it's going. Let's see here if it's going to, but you see when it goes upwards, it's going with low volume, but now we've seen sellers trying to sell here and buyers absorbing in 75.75. But we also have seen sellers absorbing buyer's trend here. You see that we did not even reach the 77 now. Okay, it quickly came down, but we're making a range here from 72 or 72.5 to 77 at least. So in between, it's really risky. It's unnecessary to try to do something because you can stop up there or down here. So it's better to, as I always say, it's better to wait for the limits of the range to try to figure out what market tend to do. But it's this is something I like to see. Market starting to form a range, and we have just 6 minutes of markets. You see, there's filling up the prices in between. So I keep an eye. I keep watching out the 3980. But if you can you see here again, every time it reaches 75 to 76, it starts facing difficult to go over to pass the region. So we can say that here 76 is 76. It's becoming a important point. If you don't remember, but last week in our pre-market studies, we've mentioned about 3976. It's been an important point. I don't remember exactly the day, but at some day, it worked as both as support and the resistance during the session. And today we're seeing it's it's been relevant again. We're seeing that it have been trying to go there, but it just returned 76.75 and came back again. Sellers are pressing up and buyers trying to absorb here. But as it's been usual in the latest sessions, when we see here this many days in sideways, it's missing. It's lacking conviction both for buyers and sellers. So uh, I don't know about you, but I think most of us we are always waiting for a breakout or a long-lasting opportunity or a breakout where we could make many points. But what we're seeing is market trading tight in narrow regions. It established some ranges, worked there, and then when breaking out, it goes and starts making other regions. So it's not running. We are not seeing interesting hikes or good moves. But now we see that it really lost the 3970 region, and usually when it happens from the weakest side, price try to tend to move. You see here, we have a small amount of contracts in this move, but it's a sign that buyers were weak and was not. They've bought there, and it seems that the liquidity in that region, buyers provided by buyers, have finished around there. Let's see going to happen. And now this region of 72, 3972 becomes important now. Let's see if let's see if price will be able, buyers will be able to push up prices until the 3972, but it's uh, better not to say and wait for what we're going to see. We're seeing here, when you see the volumetric bars, the similar amount of contracts in both sides, both in both columns, it's mean that there's really a battle. Buyers and sellers are really struggling, and when you see this kind of situation, better not to do anything, because since there's a lot of interest on both sides. Or here, let's see the 3965. That's an important region I mentioned before. Let's see whether it's going to respect it. In theory, we could say that it would be hard to pass through here, but we could, it's even in the case of continuing, it could make a pullback, try to go upwards, and then move down again. Let's see. If we see sellers aggressions here and buyers absorbing, in theory, it would be a signal of potential long trade. Remembering that 3960 is also important, so it could even sellers could even continue pressure, continuing the pressure, continuing the pressure, and 3958 or 60 is also relevant. So this position here is even though it's the value area high, it's better to wait, and since you are seeing selling pressure, it better to safer to wait and see. But if it moves down, reach the 60, if it moves down, reach the 60 region and fail in losing it, in trading below it, then we could see, especially if we see an exhaustion there, like we've seen here in 3.5, if we see this around the 60, this could be a safer sign, could be a good sign, and we could try to trade it. We keep on seeing selling pressure here. Did you see here? Sellers are really trying, but now they found buyers here. The region is important, and buyers started to absorb. So we could actually see a pullback here, but it's not obvious. It's not that it will happen, but we could see. But if you see it's sometimes I like this kind of trade, but when it is stuck like this, it's difficult because I prefer when happens like a kind of rejection. It quickly reach the point, quickly reaches the point, and then moves up and 4, 3, 4, 5 points. Then it's usually better. But when we see reaching the point, trading below, and then suffering to move upwards, this is not comfortable. But it seems, let's see where it's going. But it seems like that we could say it respected the region. And remembering that anytime we talk about region or a point, actually we're not, it's hard to, especially considering the volatility, it's hard to understand it as a point, a pure point. We're always talking about the region. So in case of, we had this value area high at, we had this value area high at 39.65, especially in this kind of point. 2, 3 points is usually uh, can be considered the point. It's within the region. So this is why I always suggest to wait and see if it's going to respect and wait to do something. For example, here it moved up and reached 69. It did not reach the 72 again. Let's see. But we're still seeing buyers here. Now we see sellers trying to sell, sellers selling, but buyers absorbing here. Did you see it was not absorb? Are the buyers? Are they going to keep on buying here and making aggressions to move up? Or sellers will have a strong balance and push price down? This is becoming an important region. Did you see the first most traded point is the point of control is 72.5. It's suffering to reach there. Would I do something here? No. Despite of it's clear to selling pressure, I would not make a short trade here. I don't like to when we have a pullback in important region like the value area, I do not feel comfortable in shorting or in making a counter trend trade right in the region this way. But we're seeing that it's 69, it's not even reaching the 72. So 70 is becoming important region, and maybe in an upcoming test of the region, then I could think about doing something there. Something, I mean, a short if I detect weakness. But we're seeing here buyer's absorption. So this is something we see when prices break out. Sellers trying to sell, but you've seen that now they were not able to push below 67. We have a kind sort of big green bar here in 2 minutes. So it would better to avoid a short anyway. Let's see what's happening here. 400 contracts, 200 contracts, 20 contracts. This is a kind of exhaustion. This is usually a sign to sell. It's broken up the 68, tried to reach there, did not reach the 72, and exhaustion there. But considering this scenario here from 68 to 70, it would be still risky to do something. But depend on your target and objective, it will be a good trade. I usually use 2 or 3 points. When I see a huge range, kind of prices sideways, and a bigger range, then then usually not, because it's hard for me it's unusual for me to hold a trade and to make a big, long-lasting trade. But and I only do this when I see a big range here in the volumetric price at super dawn. Did you see here? Let's see the 2 minute. It's too early to say about the VWAP, the volume weighted average price, but you've seen that it reached the VWAP and immediately move it down 5 points. Although we're above although we are above the the moving average, just a second. Even though we are above the moving average, we are moving, make a huge move, a downtrend move in the opening. We just try to move upwards, fail it, and then we're trying to come again. We just reached again here the moving average, and also the exponential moving average that is in 66 here. So we are seeing that the 65 remains important. We've seen here an exhaustion there, and so it's not a surprise to see uh, to see players struggling within the region. It seems actually that 65 will be our first point to be beaten. And in a possible move upwards here, we have the 70 here, the 70.5 here, and here we're touching the view up 7.75. Oh, it's the same. Oh, it's the same point. It did not reach 72, just reached the 7.75. If you have that column, that comments column or remarks column here in the Superdome, you could use, for example, to say this. Let's see whether it's going to overcome the 70, 70.75. It would be important, considering if we're considering potential move upwards, it would be interesting to break out here, to move up from the 7.75 and watch what's going to happen here in 72.5. Let's see if it's, but we're seeing here it's facing difficult to the same that happened on 76 before, it's now happening on 70. It have faced lots of difficult to overcome the 76, 77, and now it's facing sort of similar difficulty to trade above the, and it's coming again towards the 75. So this kind of move you see here, look at the 2 minutes. It tried to move again and was not able to move there. So we could not say that coming downwards it could break out and enter the value area, but what we're seeing, that's facing difficult there, but it's also facing difficult here. So it's hard to say anything. But supposing it succeeds in breaking here the 39.75, we could see that 60 would be the point here at 58 to 60, and entering here, it's not unusual when entering the value area, it tests the other side. So it would not be a surprise that we see trading below it and reaching the 6960, and then coming at least to 39.55 or 53. That was also highly traded before trying to the 61. But it's very usual actually to see it failing to go up and moving and testing the other side. Especially today we are seeing a narrow range for only for 14 points range between the value area top and bottom, value area high and low. But what we're seeing, as usual, is this lack of conviction and this kind of establishing a range and trading sideways. So far we have here from 70 to 65, maybe 70 to 65 here. Let's see. 70 again. It's usual, and would not be surprised if it fill it up here from 70 to 72, and then the sorry guys, I've had a connection problem here, but we're just in place again. What we're seeing is that actually the 70, it now tried it's overcame the 70. Buyers are really trying to press up, to put pressure. Sellers are absorbing, and let's see what's going to do. Now it's actually dangerous. It's really risky to try to sell here, even though it could be work. It could work, but since it's trying to move as the four or fifth try to move up, it would be less risky to wait for the 72.5. Maybe this could try to move up and reach there, but again, we're facing lots of difficulty to overcome here. So it seems that maybe in the short term we're not going to move there again. You'll see here. Let's see here the 15 minutes. I like the 15 minutes to see the not a big picture because it's still an intraday. But you see here it made a strong, a huge red candle here, and now we are trying to move up. Let's see at noon how it's going to stay. You see the rejection. They're always trying to overcome 71 and failing and price quickly. Now it was quickly moving downwards. But you see that this time 66, it's fine. We're seeing here that the moving average is working as a support. The lows are becoming a bit higher, lower lows. Each time is coming a bit higher. Then it's risky to make this kind of trade. I don't like, but anyway, I always take this as reference. I always take it as reference this line, and we're seeing that they're striving to hold above it. When I see lot many, when we have a certain number of candles, there's a not a number, but when I see many candles, I'm always seeing lines. I'm always seeing trying to. It's kind of instinctive. We see here, we could say it's kind of a trend line here. Hard to trade this, but a trend line, and after this, several tries to overcome the 70, 72. I mean, let's see, or facing this difficult to reach there, breaking up this uptrend line, we could see prices accelerating downwards. Buyers facing difficult again to push price up. But when I see the shadow, these big shadows of the candles in this configuration, this always turns me the light about a possible breakout in that side. It does not mean that I trade it, but it shows strength, especially after trying many times. But you see, it reached the 73. Buyers are finding sellers here, sellers waiting to sell, sellers absorbing here. You see 600, 500, 500. Remember, remembering we mentioned about the 76 before. Remember, 76 was the region, the region prices struggled to overcome before and did not succeed. Let's play here. Let's try to make another. Considering we could have made this line here, now this in this green strong green candle we could consider it as the breakout. Let's see here. So I like this kind of this end of region, but even though it's the end of the region in here in volume at price, after this kind of it's resuming the uptrend. We have here a huge green candle. It's hard to sell here. You see that if we're to search to seek for 2 points, 3 points, it would have been successful. Here, it reached here the 78, but I would not leave there a limit order and wait this. This could, considering current, not current these days, but latest years, market reduced dramatically the amount of contracts in level two. It's hard to put limit order in this kind of move, in this kind of trade. You've seen that it came down to 72 again, and it's facing difficult to overcome this, to come down below it. Let's see if buyers win this struggle here. If buyers really absorb all the selling pressure, maybe a long opportunity could arise here, but is it's becoming difficult. It's becoming dangerous. It's becoming risky because we're seeing the range is increasing. Price were filling up. We're filling up this gap from 70 to 72, and so it's becoming for us to see it as a broad range, running from 65. Let's see, down under 65 actually. We could say 65 or 64 here, and 78. And let's see whether it's going to be able to reach the 3980 or 3982. 3982 will be the 3980 to 82 would be the region. Let's see, we're facing again to overcome 75. We're starting to make let's see how many candles it's going to, if it's going to pause here. Now we could say that it would be risky to try to sell here, to try a short. It's the second try. It could work, but actually it would be risky. But we're seeing here for 100 contracts, 150, 160, 165. This is kind of exhaustion. We, we, we should see, it would be better to see a strong selling aggression, putting price down, and then absorption in a lower level. What did not happen? Trying again the 80. It was not able to reach the 80. Did you see here? It seems there will be actually struggle there. And we could say that fading to, if it overcome, if it breaks out, go upwards just 2, 3, 4, 5 points, 2, 3, 4 points, just a few points in that breakout, then we could say we could expect that this would be seen if we see an exhaustion, and a breakout and exhaustion right after it would be a weakness signal, and we could see uh, a turn back. Sellers could see this as an opportunity and could try to push price down again, and it would not be a surprise if we see it again to the 65, or at least here in the uptrend, or maybe in the moving average. In a couple of minutes, it will almost the view up, the uptrend line, and the moving average will be close. Will be almost pretty much the same point. It tends to be a good point. Let's see if it will be the case. If it price will come back, come down, and see. Why is it now? 70. 69, 70. That also in terms of flow, the tapering, the volume profile, it's also a good region. But what we're seeing here is that the 3980, it's been really a good point. It's offering, really offering a good resistance there. What means that when overcome, it would not be a surprise if we see, when overcoming, a move up to the 3990, 91 to 9292. That would be the next, we could see it as the next target. But what we're seeing here now is that price was not able to move back again. It's getting stuck here in the 75. Remember that previously 76 was the resistance. Price were suffering to move up above it. Now, after it overcame the region, it's facing difficult to trade below it. So this is something we should watch out. It does not mean that we are going to sell here if it comes down right here, or it does not mean that we are going to buy here. It's facing difficult. We would buy immediately here. It, it could work. Considering this buying pressure, it could work, but it was previously an important region. It was a resistance, and I prefer not to, since it's right in the middle of since it's right in the middle of the range, even remembering it was a support, or it was a resistance and now a support, I don't feel comfortable to do something right in between. So I would rather wait here the 72 region to eventually doing something, or up there in 79. Let's see if this time it's going to be able to overcome the 80. We see that this pattern here would be favorable. We are in a 30-minute uptrend here, so now it would hard to try a short here. We are in the end of the range, but at this time I would not consider a short here because it could work, but before it could quickly stop me above 2, 3 points above, and then move favorable. And this is the worst kind of stop loss for me. But here we are seeing the pattern that is that we see when we see a breakout. Sellers sold, buyers absorbed here. Let's see if they will be able to push up price to 78 again. If we see buyers buying, still pressing up, but sellers absorbing in lower price, such as here, then this could be a weakness sign and price could move down again. For example, now moving up and an exhaustion or fading to overcome the 78, then now we could start to have weakness signs there, and we could try to consider. I would maybe start considering a short and stop loss in 81, but it's still risky. It's better to avoid. Did you see price arrive there? But it seems that buyers are lacking courage to to be there, but because does not mean it was not sellers that absorbed lots of contracts, tons of contracts. No, it means it buyers buying at market there. Oh, now okay, now we have it. Now we have it. Uh, with this amount of contracts here, we could say is relevant. And let's see developments. We have just 12 contracts at market in 81.75 with what's not good for anyone hoping betting on buyers. We're seeing strong buyers aggression, but sellers absorbing the 80 here. So this I don't like usually to trade breakouts, and this doubts this set of doubts and conditions makes me confused. So in the case of continuing moving up, and if I see here, if we see here absorption, buys absorption on 80, 75, or maybe above it, sellers trying to push down and buyers absorbing here, we could consider maybe as a opportunity for a long, but I don't like. I'd prefer to move to 86, 87, try to move back again, and then see buying absorption. Then I like to enter this situation. Okay, we are reaching 15 minutes of transmission today. I intend to make about 1 hour, not to be so big, not to get so big and get you bored. So we are seeing now that actually we can consider the breakout. Let's see whether it's going to come. It will be able to reach the 81, 82 again. And failing to reach the 80 could be considered good for in terms of buying. We're seeing that it's not been able to reach there. Buyers absorbing here above the 81. In the case of seeing buyers pressing here in 84, 85, could be an opportunity. We have here the resistance here in 981. If we see an exhaustion or a huge absorption here and then buyers aggressive again, could be an opportunity, but hard to make bets right in the this kind of important region, this resistance. And what I personally see, and I would not feel that comfortable with a long trade here because we're almost reaching this previous range. And when price moves up, overcomes a range, a region, and then move back again, this for me it's not that good sign. So uh, uh, in my case, actually it reached the 81. I could not say that it invaded the previous range, but anyway, for example, reaching the 80 or 79, I started thinking that it would be more likely to see prices moving down again within the range than going up again. But everything can happen. We are right in the resistance here, but we are selling sellers spending on lots of contracts here. Oh, this huge aggression here in the 82 could be meaningful. Buyers are really trying to buy 1,000 contracts here. We have this imbalance here, 1,000 contracts, but starting to fail. If they do not succeed in reaching at least to 85, could be seen as a weakness signal, and this means that it could maybe enter the range again and maybe come to 74. Let's see what is going to, what's waiting for us. Let's see, we're again struggling in the 3980. Now we're seeing this kind of absorption, sellers aggressions and buyers absorbing here. This could be a sign of buying strength, but if we see here in the 7 minutes volumetric bars, we've seen this struggle. We've seen a struggle, lots of contracts, similar amount from 80 to 82. Risky to do anything. 83.5. Let's see. Let's take this candle as reference. 83.5. Let's if it's going to succeed in overcoming it or it's going to fail. Exhaustion in 2.5. This means that sellers could actually neither one contract there. Let's see if it's here. Let's see if it's going to change. 400, 200, or 400. Buyers are trying. We could see a breakout, but they were not able even to reach the 82.5. Did you see that? Well, it seemed it was a good a good move to close our transmission. It was interesting, isn't it? More 2 minutes. Let's see what's going to. Maybe we can see the final developments of the really 80. Let's see here. Let's see the 82.5 again. If it's going, let's see if it's going to be able to reach there. But now it fails on the 80. Okay, guys. In this meanwhile, if possible, just drop a comment. If it's, I think it's a quite different type of narration we find about the market. So if you're liking, if possible, just let a comment. I'm trying to mold myself to forge the way I'm doing this transmissions. I will certainly keep on doing this. And if it's good or if it's been helpful, I would appreciate having this a comment. Oh, thanks, Kat. Good to hear from you. This is interesting because speaking out loud it helps even me because it seems that when speaking loud, it's better. It's more effective than just thinking. It's amazing. Well, thanks, guys. We just reached 1 hour. I'm intending to do this on Tuesday and Thursday, but considering the Thanksgiving this week will be probably only this one. But we're coming next week with. I intend to do this at least 2 transmissions. Okay. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Hope it's helpful. And any doubts, you can leave it in comment. We can discuss and we can further discuss. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.